Shotgun with Charlie.
Riding shotgun refers to the practice of sitting next to the driver in a moving vehicle. The term riding shotgun came around after the time of the stagecoach, when somebody used to sit next to the driver holding a shotgun, in case they ran into bandits. My name is Charlie Cook, and I drive a lot. I like to talk to people while I'm driving, so I interview people in my car while I'm driving. Welcome to Riding Shotgun with Charlie.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Today we are in Pennsylvania at the Rod of Iron Festival, and I have with me Teddy Daniels. Before we start, and as big and a burly of a guy he is, we still need to put on some Lead Slingers hand sanitizer. This is super, like you're gonna need both hands.
Oh wow, okay.
It is super.
Oh, yeah.
Super watery. Lead Slingers hand sanitizer. They originally started out making whiskey. I don't know if you're a whiskey drinker.
I did not. Do I look like a whiskey drinker? My son's name is Jack Daniels. Okay, so that should tell you right there.
I love the Jack Daniels.
Yep.
I try to put it behind my ears. But Lead Slingers makes they make a whiskey, they make a rye, they make a bourbon, they make a cinnamon.
Okay.
And they also started getting into making beers and IPAs.
Ooh, I gotta try that out then.
Need to check out Lead Slingers hand sanitizer. We want to thank them for helping get the stagecoach across America. Teddy, thank you so much for being on the show.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's drive and talk.
Oh, you got it.
So we spent about 5 minutes talking before we started this, and you have a boatload of stuff. Tell us about you.
So, boy, I don't even know where you want me to start.
Was born a poor black child.
No, but I was born a poor white child, I'll tell you that.
You and me both, man.
You could tell probably just by looking at me, and the viewers could probably tell, I am not your privileged white collar type guy.
No.
I've had a lot of opportunities in life. Mm-hmm. I actually sold 2 businesses. I worked as a cop for 15 years, and at the age of 35, I enlisted active duty into the Army.
At 35?
At 35.
And they let you in?
Believe it or not, they let me in. So, funny story, my whole family was Marines. So I walked into the recruiting center, and I walked in the Marine Corps office, and the recruiter looks at me and goes, "How old are you?" I said, "I'm 35. He goes, "Our cutoff's 27, my man. Try next door." So I walk into the Army recruiter's office, and I walk in, and 2 sergeants stand up, and they say, "How you doing, sir? Whose father are you?"
Oh.
Yep. And I said, "No, guys, this is, I want to enlist." They're like, "You're looking at going reserves, National Guard, something like that?" And I said, "No, I want to go active duty." And they said, "Well, what do you want to do? You're an older guy." And I gave them a little bit about my background. I said, MP, military intelligence, counterintelligence, EOD even, as a bomb tech. And I said, "No, I want to go infantry."
Wow.
And they looked at me like I was absolutely crazy.
Yeah. At 35, do you have a family?
I do.
Okay.
And
wife and kids?
Yeah, I do. I got married after the military. Mm-hmm. But the recruiter said to me, he goes, "You understand what infantry is, don't you?"
Right.
I said, "I absolutely understand what it is, which is why I want to do it."
Oh my gosh.
And he goes, "Sir, at your age, it's going to be rough." I said, "I wouldn't expect anything less."
Right.
And he said, "Why don't you go MP?" And I said, "Listen, guys, I'm walking away from a 15-year police career because this is in my heart. This is something that I've always wanted to do. I really want it to mean something to me. I don't want to do something that I can do in the civilian world."
Right.
I want to go in. I know it's going to be hard. I know it's going to be difficult. I know at my age, I'll be twice the age of everybody else I've gone through infantry school with. Mm-hmm. But you know what? I need to prove that to myself.
Yeah.
And I think part of that was my midlife crisis. I didn't go buy the convertible Corvette or anything like that. My midlife crisis was joining the military. Now, you know, in high school, I grew up here in Pennsylvania. Went to Valley Forge Military Academy. I went there on a leadership and athletic scholarship, and I got kicked out of a couple Catholic schools as a kid growing up.
Right. Don't hold that against you.
Public school, you know, I was quick with my fists. You know, you kind of had to get through, to get by.
Sure.
So I ended up in a military school, but I was great at athletics. I was an all-state, all-American football player, and my senior year in school, I had a little over 60 Division I scholarship offers.
60?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I went, was a scholarship ball player at West Virginia University. Was a starting guard for the Mountaineer football team. And going into my junior year, I tore my shoulder up, got injured.
Oh, man.
And that was done. So I knew that I could not just put on a suit and go sit in an office. That was not me. So I went through the police academy and became a cop.
Wow.
And I loved doing it. And, you know, I was that guy that the reason I became a police officer, because I was always that guy in school. And again, I said I was a big guy. I was quick with my fists. But I was the guy that stuck up for the kids that got bullied.
Yeah.
Okay, I was the guy that fought back for them. Part of my draw to law enforcement as well was being able to stick up for people who couldn't stick up for themselves.
Yeah.
Being able to try to be their voice and make things right on their behalf. And I enjoyed doing that. I really did. I was disgusted by the criminal element that's out there that preys on people, and you know how criminals target their victims, and I wanted to be their right arm. I wanted to come out and be their voice and protect them from that criminal element out there in society. And I enjoy doing it. And you know, then I hit 35 and had that midlife crisis that hit, and I wanted to see if I still had it. Had a lot of self-doubts that time in my life as a man.
Yeah.
And I had to do it. You know, my grandfather had died a few years earlier. He was a gunny sergeant in the Marine Corps, and you know, we were in the middle of 2 wars at the time. We only go around this planet once. That's it. And my grandfather, as he was older, he would sit there and tell me stories of him growing up and the stories of World War II, and you know, the things that he's done and the things that he's experienced. And I didn't want to be that guy near the end of my life sitting there saying, well, you know, I wish I had done this.
Right.
I wish I had done that.
Regrets, yeah.
I wish I had done this, because it's not the things that you did in life that you're going to think about when that time comes.
It's the things
that you didn't do.
Absolutely.
So I've kind of followed my own path and have just done the things that I've wanted to do.
How long were you in the military?
4 years.
4 years.
4 years. Now, honestly, I was going to make it a career. Was shot up in Afghanistan, and in 2014 I was medically retired. So,
all right,
yeah.
Shot up. You can't just
Shot up.
You can't skip over that.
Ah, brother. So, okay. So you want to hear the story?
Yes.
Okay.
This is what my friend Amanda said. She's like, you need to get Teddy in the car. He was shot 4 times.
So here's the story, and it's actually the story that day changed my life forever. And I never thought, because I'm a very strong-willed person, and I never thought one incident in one day would totally change the course of my life, but it did. So, April 24th, 2012, we went out on the edge of our area of operations, and we spent the night at an Afghan Army outpost. Now, these outposts, again, where we were stationed in Afghanistan was a small outpost. It was a 16-man outpost with the HESCO barriers and the sandbags, and very primitive.
Yeah.
Okay. the Afghan outpost made our outpost look like the Trump Hotel in New York. So we stayed there for the night. Now, I wore a GoPro on my helmet. Part of my job, so let me back up. When I went through infantry school and everything else, I was the big guy. I was in great shape then. I was the machine gunner. I could hump a machine gun up and down mountains, ammo, no problem. Get to my unit, I thought for sure I'm going to be a machine gunner.
Yeah.
First sergeant took a look at my background, and I didn't know what to report with or bring, so I had all my law enforcement certifications. And,
Sure.
you know, I was a detective, I was a narcotics investigator, I did all kinds of stuff. He goes, I've got the perfect spot for you.
Oh, boy.
You're going to be on our COIST team, which is Company Intelligence Support Team. So before we deployed, the military kind of did a fast-track training for me in military intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
And my job...
Did he do this because you're your age?
I think he did, but I think my background too, coming from that law enforcement background.
Sure. Okay.
I would have been fine.
Yeah.
Humping a machine gun. That day on that mountain, I kind of preferred I had one. So, you know, I went through the crash military intelligence training, and my job was to go out with every squad on every platoon, gather intel, talk to the villagers, find out where the Taliban was moving through, where they're meeting, who they're talking to, what points of travel they're taking, and kind of connect the dots on the Haqqani terrorist network over there and report directly to the company commander so he can establish and change his battle plan as needed.
Yeah.
So, night before, and that's why I wore the GoPro, because I had an interpreter with me, and as I was interview these villagers, I would have the interpreter go through and conduct the interview, and I had to ask the right questions. You know, when they're coming over, when were they here, who are they meeting with, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah.
So, April 24th, 2012, we spent the night at that Afghan army outpost, and that morning woke up and the lieutenant says to everybody, we're going to push back into that village. Now, we were at a point in the war during that year that we did not leave the wire by ourselves. We were there in a support role to support the Afghan military, Afghan police.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the Afghan military on that outpost were like, we're not going back there. We're not going back to that village. That's not going to happen. So the lieutenant says, fine, then I guess we're going to go ourselves. So we were an 8-man team. We had 0 air support, 0 air on station. Didn't have anything. So we went out that morning. We went up the ridge line, very rocky terrain, all the way across the top, and we sat. We did some overwatch on this village, and after a little bit, the lieutenant says, you know what? Instead of taking that ridge line all the way back, let's head down here over the open face of this mountain, facing the village, and there's a dirt path over here on the bottom that we can take that back to the outpost. Lieutenant heads out. I'm about 30 meters behind him to the right. I go down after him, and then the entire village completely opened up on us.
Wow.
The lieutenant dove on the ground, dropped his weapon, put his hands over his head. The other guys up top, they were young guys. It was the first TIC that this particular squad had been in. Now, TIC is an acronym for Troops in Contact.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first time that squad had ever been fired on. Now, I'd been out with other squads. We'd get in gunfights all the time. But this particular squad, this was the first time that they had ever been opened up on. And these young guys, and again, it's terrifying. They took cover the best they could behind some of the rocks on that terrain.
Yeah.
So I'm behind a rock, I'm returning fire. Lieutenant's out there. And I'm thinking to myself, man, if he doesn't get up and move or somebody doesn't do something, he's going to get killed. So I made the idiot decision to come out into the open, down the hill, into the gunfire.
Oh my God.
So I come down the hill into the gunfire. I draw the fire away from the lieutenant because for those watching, I am not a small target. Okay?
Right, you're easy to hit.
So it was like, throwing golf balls at a catcher's mitt.
Right.
Okay? He gets back up top, gets with the rest of the squad. They go down over the side of the ridge. I'm left hanging by myself on the front open face of this mountain. Took a spill, broke my foot in 4 spots, ended up taking a round in the shin, round in the front of the right leg, round to the back of the right leg, and round through the shoulder. So I had a round. I had a 203 grenade launcher on my rifle. Round came in, hit the tube of my grenade launcher, and just blew the rifle right out of my hands. Was able to get the rifle back, function check, still operational.
Yeah.
And I was in a fight, brother. I was in a fight that day. And it was scary. It was the most terrifying. And again, I'd been in gunfights before, and I'd been in gunfights since. This one here.
This is one we got shot in.
This was the most terrifying 27, 28 minutes of my life.
Wow.
Now, I was able to get to some cover behind a rock. And it's funny how when you're in a situation like that, and the odds are against you, what God will put into your head. Okay? My 10-year-old son, he's actually going to be 11 this month. He was 2 years old at the time. And I had a vision of 2 soldiers dressed blues come to the house. Tell my son, your father was killed behind a rock in Afghanistan. So, that's when I had my talk with God. Bleeding out, I got blood everywhere. Still got some shrapnel in the knuckle from when the
Dude, you gotta show that to one of the kids.
it's nothing though.
It's
just
not. It looks like an overgrown zit.
Yeah, but that's actually a piece of metal in there that skin kind of grew over. Yeah, that's a good analogy. Because, see, I'm going to look at this completely different now that you said that.
I would sit there and pop it until it came
Brother,
out.
there's nothing that comes out. I've taken a knife. I've tried cutting it open to get whatever metal is in there, but it's all the way down on the bone. And I guess that's just what has happened to it. So,
is there only one exit here?
I don't know.
Oh, man.
I don't know.
Said you knew this area?
A little bit, brother. Milford's super liberal, man. I rarely come out to Milford. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll show you where to.
I think we're going to take a left.
Yes.
And that's going to bring us back.
You take a left, that'll zip you right around.
All right.
I know where we are now.
Okay.
So, I'm going to change topics real quick.
Yeah.
We were down here with Bikers for Trump when Eric Trump was in here. Mm-hmm. And I had a liberal and a Honda try to run our pack of motorcycles off the road about 3 miles from there. Oh, brother, I'm telling you, we're on the front lines in this country.
Obviously, you're riding a Harley.
No, I ride an Indian.
An Indian?
An Indian.
Steve, you're going to love that. I got a buddy that's, he loves his Indian.
Oh, brother, so I was a Harley guy my whole life.
Yeah.
And I show up, well, before I sidetrack again.
Yeah.
We'll talk motorcycles in a minute, because, brother, it's one of my passions. So, had the vision of them coming to tell my son, your father died behind a rock in Afghanistan. And that is when I had my talk with God. And if you've ever seen the Rocky movies, the Rocky's down and out, and he gets the vision of Mickey. Get up, you son of a bitch, I didn't hear no bell.
Yeah.
Okay? That's almost like what it felt like. And it's amazing how when you feel like you're going to die,
that Mickey appears in your life.
Well, God
with Mickey's voice.
God appeared.
Looks like Burgess Meredith.
And yeah, he could, I guess. Put that vision in my head, and I said, God, I get it. Today's the day you're going to call me home. Now, for everyone watching, I mean, take a look at me. I do not look like a religious, every Sunday church-going type of guy. Let me tell you this. A conversation I had with God brought me closer. than any time I've ever sat in a pew in church.
Wow.
Okay? I said, God, I get it. Today's the day you're going to call me home. But please, I can't let my son know I died behind a rock.
Yeah.
You have to let me go the way I need to go. Now, I know that was a big order to ask from God.
Sure.
Because he's God, I'm me, he has final say. I know that.
Right.
But in that moment, I hit the magazine release, threw in one of my last magazines. The most peaceful, tranquil feeling I've ever had in my life came completely over me. I had made my peace with God. I had accepted the fact I was going to die on that mountain. I made peace with that. I made peace with God. And I stood up as all the incoming fire was coming in, stood straight up, brought up my rifle. Keep in mind, I got a foot broken in 4 spots on the right foot.
3 wounds in the leg?
3 wounds in the leg, or 2 wounds in the right leg and a wound in my left leg. And I start walking down that steep, rocky mountain. Walking. Targets are appearing in the village. I'm just engaging targets, and it's like a dream. It's like I'm hitting everything I'm aiming at. Okay? And the whole time I'm waiting. Catch one in the face, catch one in the neck, make it quick.
Right.
I had accepted death. Have you ever seen that movie Tombstone?
Of course.
Where Wyatt Earp walks out into the gunfire in the water. Okay, where they get ambushed.
Yeah.
Brother, that's what it was like. And when I was a kid, or when I was younger and I saw that movie, I thought, man, there is no way.
There's no way that happened.
There is no freaking way. He just walked out there,
and no one
bullets went all around him, and he ended up smoking everybody. There's no way. Brother, I experienced that. It was almost, again, I love using movie analogies. Pulp Fiction, where Samuel Jackson talks about divine intervention.
Yeah.
Okay? Where the guy popped out of the back room with the hand cannon and fired 6 rounds at him, and they all hit around him.
Yeah.
Okay? I experienced that. Now, I had a round hit my helmet. I had a round hit the corner of my sunglasses, knock them right off my face. I had a round go through the water bottle that I was carrying on my belt. Didn't hit me. I felt like I had the strength of 100 men, and I was completely at peace with whatever would happen. I gave myself to God before I started down that hill. And you know, there's a saying that says there's no such thing as an atheist in a foxhole. Okay? Boy, I'll tell you, I believe it 100%. And I made it out of there. That day changed my life, and it made me realize. So my wife and I, we celebrate April 25th every year as my 2nd birthday, because I shouldn't be here.
Oh my God.
It's my alive day. And you know, I still go through the surgeries, still having issues with everything that happened with all the gunshots, but there's days I roll out of bed in the morning, I feel like I was run over by an 18-wheeler. But I wake up with a smile because I am so thankful to be 6 feet above ground. I'm thankful to have my beautiful wife. I'm thankful for my children. I'm thankful for my home. I'm thankful for the air that I breathe, the water I drink, because that realization set in that this could be gone at any time.
Yeah.
You know, my mother was killed in 2001 by a drunk driver. And I was just on the phone with her the night before she died. It just, everything can end so quick in our lives. And we need to realize what we have cherish what we have, enjoy what we have, be thankful for what we have, because God didn't have to save me on that mountain that day. He didn't have to do it.
Right.
So, now my background, brother, I've been a fighter my entire life. Like, I love confrontation. I love fighting. Love confrontation. So why did God save me? I don't know. But I feel that there's so much evil in the world. And I think he kept me here to use my fire and my passion to fight that evil. And it just so happens I've been fighting it on a political level. And I don't talk like a politician. I don't look like a politician.
Say that, yeah.
I don't act like a politician, because I'm not a politician.
Right.
Politicians tell you what you want to hear. Leaders, well, sometimes they got to tell you what you don't want to hear. Okay? And I think the problem with Washington, D.C. is we have too many politicians who have sold out. They appease people. They're more worried about the dollar bill than they are doing the right thing. And somebody needs to go down there with a pocket full of hand grenades and just start blowing up the system. Okay? So I recently ran a congressional campaign.
Yeah.
I come from humble means. We had a 6-person primary. I took second. And we actually won on election day. And the guy that ended up winning, it took a couple days for the mail-in ballots to get counted. He won on the mail-in ballots. Not screaming foul, not crying. I'm not that kind of guy.
Right.
But it just shows the traction and the movement that we have picked up along the way with just being a real person. Now, during this campaign, when I first announced, there was a guy that I grew up with, straight liberal. Saw a donation come through my website for about $500, and it was from him.
Really?
And I picked up the phone and I called him. I said, brother, I just got the email notification that you donated to my campaign, brother. I thank you. I appreciate it. I can't thank you enough. I said, but listen, you know where I stand politically.
Right.
I just want to make sure that you know.
Right. This wasn't an
accident. He goes, Teddy, you and I disagree politically. We are on opposite ends of the spectrum. I said, well, you kind of got me a little confused, brother. Why'd you throw that money to my campaign then? He goes, first off, we're friends. Second off, it's okay to disagree politically and still be friends.
Amen.
Okay? And he said, besides, I want to see you go to D.C., and I want to turn on C-SPAN, and I want to see you flip a table and throw a chair down on the House floor, and it's going to make news all over the place, and I want to sit back and say, I donated to that guy.
That's awesome.
Okay? And I said, brother, I hope I don't disappoint. Right. I appreciate it.
That is
I'll tell you what, though, the political culture in our country today is worse than anything I've ever seen.
I agree. I've had a number of friends unfriend me on the Facebook.
Yeah.
Just because we don't agree politically. And I'm fine with it.
Hey, cool.
Right. Rock on.
The men will stay and the children will run. That's the way I look at it. You know? And, okay, Facebook.
Right.
Brother, Facebook has made too many people getting comfortable with disrespecting people and not getting punched in the mouth for it. Okay? The same people who talk garbage on Facebook are the same ones that will come up to you and smile and shake your hand. Okay? Facebook has made it easy. Now Donald Trump has mastered social media to get his message across. But the flip side to that is that it has made it easy for Facebook to be a source of news for people. It has made it easy for groups of people to come out and try to destroy other people. Okay? So, last night, we had a busy weekend. Last night, Stephen Willeford, myself, Frank Scavo, who's emceeing the event, we were all invited over for a fireside chat podcast.
Very cool.
So, yeah, it's a big bonfire. Guy's got a beautiful deck. He sets up the tiki torches and everything else, and we sit there. And I lost my voice last night because I got fired up about some of the political issues we were discussing. And, you know, so it went out there, and this morning I get up and click on the guy's page, and I'm going through to check the comments, and this one idiot wrote, well, it's fitting that you would have tiki torches at a gathering like this.
My God.
So here's the thing. I know what he was insinuating.
Right.
Okay? I know that. Everybody else says that. They all know what he was insinuating. So I called the guy whose podcast channel it is, and I said, brother, do you know this guy? He goes, oh, I don't know who that guy is. I said, listen, it's your page. I respect your page.
Yeah.
I'm going to light this cat on fire. And he goes, go do what you do.
Nice.
So I responded. Now, I'm not a big Facebook warrior.
Right.
People have said so many things to me on Facebook, and I respond to them. I said, listen, I catch breakfast every Tuesday and Thursday at this place, at this restaurant, at this time. If you'd like to discuss, come on down. Let's talk. I'm a big believer in communication.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Let's have it out. Let's talk. It doesn't even have to be a fight. Let's talk.
Right.
But you know what?
This is what they always say.
You be honest with me, and I'll be honest with you.
Yep.
Now, you might not like what I have to say, but you'll know where I'm coming from.
Right.
Okay? So, I respond to this. I said, I see the cowardly innuendo that you are trying to make by your comments. A bigger issue is the sissification of the American male in today's culture, where people are afraid to come out and grab a set and say exactly what they want to say, where they have to hide behind cowardly innuendos.
Right.
I would have more respect for you if you came out and said, you guys have tiki torches, so you must all be white supremacist racists. Now, I may not agree. Obviously, I'm not going to agree. But I would look at you and say, wow, this guy stands by his convictions, and he said what he said. But he didn't do that. So I wrote, I have no respect for you because you are a coward. Now, if that's what you are trying to say it. And if you would like to discuss it, I'd be more than happy and willing to discuss that with you.
Right.
Silence.
Of course.
Nothing at all. Now, I told you how we almost got run off the road by our motorcycle, on our motorcycles back there. Somebody posted the video, posted it up, and this guy comments, well, he should have ran all the Trump-tards off the road and killed all of them. So I see the name, I take the name, I Google the name.
Yeah.
Well, here's something else with his picture. Here's his name, here's his age, here's his address, here's his phone number, here's where he lives. I comment. I said, listen, saw your comment. If you'd like to discuss further, reach out. Love to discuss. Comment with you. Even have you on my show.
Yeah.
He writes back, F you, asshole.
There we go.
So, okay. I write back. I said, listen, I can easily come to, and I put his home address in there. I put his address in there. I said, I can easily come there to discuss both comments now.
Nice.
Well, all his comments ended up being deleted by him on my page. And you know, brother, we're in a culture right now where the left has used these bullying tactics.
Oh, completely.
The left has used the threats and intimidation. The left has doxed people. They try to brand people. They try to divide people. And the right, we have been, and especially the establishment Republicans, we have become the party of appeasement.
Mm-hmm.
We said, well, I don't want to fight them on that, so I'll give in.
Right.
And then I'll give in some more.
And then a
little bit more. I said, and that's where it needs to stop.
It's the salami method of losing our rights.
Yes,
One
absolutely.
slice at a time, man.
Now, I compare this. Now, what's happening in our country is nothing close to the Holocaust, so I want to put that out there now. But I compare to how the Holocaust happened to what is happening right now in our country. It wasn't one morning that the German people woke up, rounded up all the Jews, and put them in boxcars and sent them to concentration camps. Okay? It was a nation of people who, through a series of slow and gradual decisions, ended up getting to the point to where they were rounding up human beings and putting them on boxcars for extermination.
Crazy.
Okay? It was, you got pressured in, you compromised your value system once with a decision, and then you caved to peer pressure a second time and gave in some more. Okay? And now you've already sold out. You're all the way in this.
Right.
To where you will now be ostracized and outcast if you do not go along with the majority. And it was a series of events and a nation's series of decisions through a period of time that a nation thought it was okay to round up human beings, put them in boxcars, and take them to concentration camps. It wasn't an overnight thing.
Right.
Okay?
It's like boiling a frog.
And if you don't know your past, if you don't know your history, you're destined to repeat it. I look at these mask mandates. The government's responsibility for me, I'm a free man in a free country. Tell me there's a virus. Tell me what I have to do to protect my family from it. Tell me what precautions I should take. You are not to limit my movement. Tell me I have to wear a mask. Tell me where I can go. Tell me where I can gather. Tell me where I can shop.
Which way to walk down the aisle.
Tell my kids where to go to school. How to go to school. That is not the government's responsibility. Their responsibility, inform me, tell me what precautions that I need to take. In Pennsylvania, the governor closed non-essential businesses. Wow. So now we're going to classify businesses as non-essential. Every business in this state is essential. Every worker in this state is essential. And you want to know why? They may not be essential to the governor's motives, but they're essential to his family, that man's family, the business owner's family, their employees, the employee's family, and the services that they provide for their local communities. I don't care if it's a turd rolling company, okay?
Right.
That business is essential to people.
It is.
When the government declares you as not essential, think about this. This is the same government that wants socialized health care. If they're going to tell you your business isn't essential, you know what's going to be next? Your life isn't essential. Your health isn't essential. We're free people in a free world. We can never forget that. We can never let the government continue to take charge of our lives.
Amen.
So, brother, I get wound up. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I got it. We've actually passed where we need to go, so I need to find
so
something
it's
to
a
turn around.
U-turn to go back, and then you're going to swing the right past the gas station.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw you going.
I'm not going to stop you.
Hey, brother, it's good. It's good.
I'm just trying to find something like a business we can turn around in.
Brother, you got a Dodge Charger, man. Okay? What you do is you slip it into neutral.
Right.
As you start the turn.
Here we go.
Then
We got a spot. Oh, we don't have a spot. Oh, look at this. We can't even...
Pop that in the drive, get on the gas, kick that rear end around. You're good, buddy. You got this. You got this.
Oh, my gosh.
So, motorcycles. We started on that earlier.
Yes.
I was a Harley guy my whole life.
Yep.
Okay? And I was going through Allentown about 5 years ago, and I wanted to check out these Indians.
Yeah.
So, and again, I'm not a closed-minded person. born and bred Harley Davidson. I've had numerous Harleys. I've had rigid frames. I've had shovel heads. I've had Evos. I've had the twin cams. I've had them all. Well, see these Indians. I stop at the Indian dealership. I go in. I said, "Here you go. You can swing around right in here in this parking lot."
Right in this little parking lot.
I said, "You know what? I'd love to take this bike out for a ride." So it's an Indian Chieftain, brand new on the showroom, and I took it out for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And I came back with the bike, and I said, "Let's work numbers. I'll go get a cashier's check. I have to break the news to my wife. I'll be back to pick this bike up."
Oh my gosh.
Brother, let me tell you. Again, I'm beat up. My body's banged up. The most comfortable bike I think I've ever ridden.
Really?
The torque, the horsepower, the smoothness.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have not had a single issue with that bike since I've owned it. Now, I do my own oil changes. I do all my own work on the bikes.
Yeah.
I put in an S&S air cleaner, put in Freedom True Dual exhaust. I had it tuned. Got the ape hangers thrown on there. Brother, this bike runs, okay? And this bike runs. This bike will outrun Harleys off the showroom floor, okay?
Wow.
And when I tell you, like I ride with a club, and when we get on the turnpike and we open up and go, I gotta throttle it back because I end up leaving a lot of the guys in the pack. But the way it handles, the way it feels, it's just, and Harley's was always, especially with my shovel head, you worked on it more than you rode it. And these bikes are maintenance free and for everybody home, made in America.
Boom.
Harley Davidson is outsourcing their parts to China. Indian is still the only motorcycle out there completely made in the United States of America. So I'm a big fan of Indian motorcycles.
Well, here's my motorcycle story. I'm not. I just got my motorcycle endorsement.
Okay, cool.
Just this summer.
Yeah.
Last summer, a friend of mine started to teach me to ride, and I'm riding some old Yamaha from the early '70s that he's got. And he likes riding the Moto Giros.
Okay.
Likes riding old bikes.
Old bikes are fun, brother, but they ain't the best for comfort, and boy, the maintenance, I'll tell you. I've had some old ones.
So this is the deal. I inherited 2 motorcycles from my father, a Honda Goldwing and a Harley dirt bike.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we, my buddy and I drove from Massachusetts, where we live, out to Illinois, and then we picked up the bikes, put them in the back of his truck, and then, got 4 hours of sleep and headed back to New England. We've been working on the bike for a while. My friend's actually running for office, so we've kind of taken some time off of working on these. I have another friend who has a Harley dirt bike as well. Okay. And when my buddy Keith when my buddy Steve told my buddy Keith that the Harley dirt bike wasn't really a Harley, it was an Aramaki, Keith was completely deflated because Keith's a Harley guy. Completely. Oh man.
Well, see, and here's the thing. And again, nothing against Harley Davidson. I've had Harleys my whole life. I think Harley makes a great product. Mm-hmm. But I think too many people go with Harley because of the name.
Sure.
And because of the culture that surrounds the Harley Davidson name.
The whole lifestyle.
And cool, that's great. But you know what? And I tell these guys, because you'll see them out on the road. Now, I wash my bike once a year. That's it. My bike gets ridden hard. I put more miles on my bike a year than I do my car.
Wow.
Okay? And I see the guys, and please don't turn into one of these guys, brother, okay? Don't, okay? I'm a true enthusiast. I truly believe the code, honor, the respect, everything that the old school biker symbolizes, I believe in.
Yeah.
Okay? Like my shovel head, I was riding all over the place on a rigid frame, 75 Harley shovel head with a kickstart.
Oh my gosh.
Okay? But you want to know what? That's how they did it back in the day.
Yeah.
So this is how I'm going to do it. I don't want an electric start on my bike. Now, you see the guys on the weekends, They'll ride 10 miles, pull off to the side of the road, and they'll start shining their bikes again. Okay? And you can tell they've got the Harley-Davidson helmet, Harley-Davidson jacket, Harley-Davidson pants, Harley-Davidson boots,
right.
Harley-Davidson gloves. Come on, man. You know, and then they walk into a establishment where I would normally hang out.
And have a martini.
And they walk in there and they're like, oh, I'm a biker. Nah, bro, you're not a biker. I'm sorry. You may own a Harley-Davidson, but you're not a biker. Okay? Well, what do you ride? I ride an Indian. And I'm a biker. Go take a look at my bike.
Right.
Okay? Probably be the only Indian out there. Go take a look. I've got layers and layers and layers and layers of dead bugs all across my fairing. Protects the paint. Okay? Go take a look at my bike. And you tell me if you think that is a bike that has seen some hard miles.
No kidding.
And see, bro, I love motorcycles. I've ridden across the country 4 times.
Wow.
When I was stationed in Colorado, long weekends, I'd go out to Las Vegas, or I'd ride out to San Diego and back. Okay? Like, I love to ride. And the best thing is the type of people. Like, there's a nice bike.
I know, it is a Harley.
And again, I like Harleys. But the problem is I think the whole yuppie, weekend warrior, rich boy culture has taken over Harley Davidson, where, let me tell you, there were places back in the day, if you rode up to a diner on a Harley Davidson, they wouldn't let you in.
Right.
They thought you were a ruffian. Mm-hmm. You know? They wouldn't let you in.
Yeah, we can thank Brando for this, can't we?
Well, I'll tell you what, that movie, The Wild Ones, was based, and I know several members of the club very well, was based off of the Booze Fighters Motorcycle Club.
Wow.
One of the first original motorcycle clubs in this country. Mm-hmm. And do you know how the whole 3-piece patch, so you see the outlaw motorcycle clubs with the 3-piece patch, and you'll see some guys today, they have a 1-piece patch, okay? So the American Motorcycle Association, after the whole Hollister incident, which was the movie The Wild Ones with Marlon Brando, the American Motorcycle Association came out and said, 99% of the people in the world who ride motorcycles are good, law-abiding citizens. And then you have that 1%.
Right.
Okay? So that's why the outlaw clubs call themselves 1%ers. Because they're the 1% that the AMA was not referring to. So in protest, they took their patches. Everybody wore a 1-piece patch. They cut the top name, they cut the bottom name and the center patch to form a 3-piece patch. Top rocker, bottom rocker, center patch.
Yeah.
That was in protest to the American Motorcycle Association. Then they started, so back in the day, you know, all these AMA events would be for best dressed motorcycle club or the shiniest bike or whatever.
Right.
Well, these clubs said, you know what? Since the AMA said this about us, we're going to hold our own rallies. And we're going to do, you know, our motorcycle races. So there was the Outlaw Racing Circuit, which was not sponsored by the AMA. There were 13 original teams in that Outlaw Racing Circuit, which is why you see a lot of motorcyclists or bikers. Bikers are different than motorcyclists. Bikers wear a patch with the number 13 in it. Goes to represent the 13 first outlaw clubs out there that were in that Outlaw Racing Circuit.
Wow.
You make it right here.
Yep.
So a lot of people don't know that. But I love that culture. I understand that culture. Mm-hmm. And let me tell you, these men donned in leather and tattoos and everything else. We do toy runs. We go visit sick kids in hospitals. We go help build wheelchair ramps for veterans. Okay? We raise money to help our communities. Okay? We do a lot of charitable stuff for our communities. And society looks at those groups of men and they think, oh, look at these uneducated, stupid rednecks. Right. Okay? Well, let me tell you something. These uneducated, stupid rednecks are there for their communities, and they stand up and they do great things for people. Yeah. And I think, you know, because of what's out there, you know, bikers get a bad rap. And I'll tell you what, you know, like the brothers in my club, and even other guys that I know that ride that aren't in my club, There's one guy we talked about it the other night. His bike broke down one night at midnight, about an hour and a half from my house. My phone rang. I got a trailer. Buddy, I'm leaving now. On my way, I'll come get you.
Wow.
Okay? And every person I've ever met on two wheels on a motorcycle, I could pick up that phone at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, say, hey,
I need some help.
I need some help. And you know what? They'd be there.
That's amazing.
They would be there in a heartbeat. Now, there's not too many groups of people out there that I can say that about.
Absolutely.
But it's about loyalty. It's about respect. And whenever I see a biker on the side of the road, my wife and I were in Myrtle Beach now with my little boy. We were in Myrtle Beach about 2 years ago. They were having their pre-bike week down there. We were in traffic, and there was a guy on a motorcycle. You could hear it sputtering out, and he pulled it to the side, off the side of the road. Now, my wife and I had dinner reservations. I said, honey, I gotta stop. I pulled the truck up, carried a toolbox in the back. Now, again, I've worked on bikes for years, and this guy, he's like, man, I have no idea what's going on with the bike or whatever. I said, listen, sounds like your carburetor needs an adjustment. I got my toolbox. If you let me work on your bike, I could probably get you rolling here. Yeah. Pulled the truck up behind him, put the flashers on so nobody would hit him on the side of the road. Got the carb off, did the adjustments.
Hang on a second.
And it took about a half hour. We were late for dinner. The guy thanked me up and down.
Thank you.
But my wife's great with that. She's like, you know, she goes, if it was you, I would want somebody to stop to.
Yeah, of course.
So, yeah.
All right, we need to wrap it up here.
Brother, this was fun, man. I know I talk a lot. I got a big freaking mouth.
This is why it's a great show, because I don't have to talk. How can people find, like, do you have a website for all this stuff?
I do. Let's
hear about it.
So I have a website, teddydanielspa.com.
Yeah.
And if you go on Facebook, and you look for Teddy Daniels, it's the real handsome guy in the profile picture, so you'll find that one. And I also actually run, it's called In the Trenches with Teddy Daniels. And I run my own video podcast on there.
Oh, cool.
Where we love, I call out the establishment, we piss off the liberals, and it puts a big smile on my face every time we do it.
That's cool.
Because again, you know, we need to start fighting back. And if we don't fight back, we're giving in.
Absolutely.
Brother, this was fun, man. I enjoyed this.
Thank you,
buddy.
Thank you. Hang on a second. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. Check out Teddy Daniels and all of his stuff. We're going to put some links in the description so you can find Teddy Daniels things. What else do I need to say?
Oh, I have to say this. I have to say this. To all the women that are going to watch this, I know what you're thinking. I'm sorry, I'm married. This is all taken, okay? So...
I'm not.
I know it's disappointing.
Thanks for watching this episode of Riding Shotgun with Charlie. You can listen to Riding Shotgun, or you can watch Riding Shotgun on YouTube, on Gunstreamer. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, on iHeartRadio, and on Spotify. You can also check it out on the Ops Lens app. That's something new that we've got onto recently. And you need to check out all of the other shows on the Self-Defense Radio Network. Well, one more time, we want to shout out to Lead Slingers hand sanitizer. They really make whiskey, but want to thank them for getting us some hand sanitizer, and this has been a lot of fun, man.
This is awesome, brother. I appreciate this, man. It's been great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm taking it all in, and it's just an incredible story. I can't wait to edit it and
good stuff, brother.
Pick up on all this stuff.
Sounds good, buddy. I appreciate it. Thanks again.
Thank you. We'll see you guys next time.